What is going on, guys? MMA Island team. We got the fight picks. We got Ovince St. taking on Alonzo Menifield in the co-main event of the evening. Really, really interesting fight here. Man, as we know, Ovince St. coming back from heavyweight. He went and fought Ben Rothwell, which if you told me a year ago that Ben Rothwell and Ovince St. would fight, I would have told you you're insane. But it happened. It was a very, very weird fight to see get booked and also see happen live. But he's coming back to the light heavyweight division, taking on Alonzo Menifield, who's coming off his first loss of his career against Devin Clark. So before I get into my prediction, we'll pass it on to Zach.
So I was pretty high on Alonzo Menifield leading up to his fight with Devin Clark. Not so much anymore. I have completely abandoned the hype train. I have hopped off and let it crash and burn off the tracks because it really showed how one-dimensional he is. I was sold that his power was some mythical thing, but it's really good. That's what we know about Alonzo Menifield. He's like the light heavyweight Francis Ngannou. He hits and he will knock out pretty much anyone in the division. But his cardio is abysmal. It is terrible. He gassed out after the first round with Devin Clark. And that shows me that he's relied so much on his power to carry him throughout his entire career so far without making the necessary adjustments to his game. Okay, OSP, right? This guy, we know what he does. He will take you down. He will submit you. But if he doesn't do that, he's just going to stand on the feet and look at you, throwing an occasional head kick. Not much. On the feet, OSP is not a highlight attraction. But I think Devin Clark just published the best-selling book called The Game Plan on How to Beat Alonzo Menifield because it is a step-by-step, absolute airtight guide. Press him up against the fence, take him down, repeat. Because all you can do to make Alonzo Menifield gas himself out a little bit more, that takes away his one and only weapon, which is his power. Because without his power, Alonzo Menifield can't beat anyone in the UFC. He doesn't have striking technique. He doesn't have solid wrestling. He doesn't have submissions. He doesn't have any of that. And I think this fight goes to the ground. OSP is going to submit him. And that's what I think is going to happen. Either it's going to be a decision where Menifield gasses out. And yes, before you mention it, OSP has a penchant to gas out as well, but nowhere close to the extent that Menifield does. So, yeah, I'm going to go by go with OSP submission or decision.
Wow, I'm kind of shocked that you threw off Menifield so quickly after that loss. Talking about Devin Clark, man. Devin Clark, I mentioned this earlier in the fight picks. I seem to be talking about him a lot here, but Devin Clark is just a guy who I think is easily to take you to decision. He's done it throughout most of his fights in his career. And I honestly, what I saw out of Menifield is, yes, he did gas very quickly. But man, the thing is that from what we've seen from Menifield is we've seen this guy can strike. He honestly did have Devin Clark in some scary moments as well. Devin Clark is a guy who has been pretty. He has two KO losses in his 16 fight career. So he has been finished before. Alexander Rakic TKO'd him in the first round back on the Holloway Ortega card. But man, looking back at this 250 fight with Devin Clark, it was kind of like it wasn't necessarily back and forth, but Menifield was surviving. He was eating shots. And when I look at OSP Ovince St. a guy who has been up and down throughout the past fights in his career, we've seen that he typically either knocks you out or gets a submission on you. And even talking about in recent history, man, to look at the last time that he got a decision win, you got to look at like 10 plus fights ago for OSP. So I don't think he's going to be able to finish Menifield. Looking at Devin Clark, wasn't able to do it, and I don't think he's going to be able to submit him or KO him. So I think Menifield is going to be able to win this fight. I don't think I'm not too confident in Menifield in this one because I could easily see St. taking him down, OSP taking Menifield down and submitting him. Also talking about Menifield again is what we've seen from him when these guys try to take him down is he's got very, very good takedown defense. And going back to OSP is OSP just came back from heavyweight. And typically what I thought about with this, when you see a guy who's so up and down in their career, when you see people who swap weight classes when they're up and down, have loss, win, loss, win, win, loss, loss, they typically don't do too well when they change their weight class. So I think OSP right now is kind of in a stage of his career where he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's kind of like, man, I don't really know if I want to be a heavyweight, if I want to be a light heavyweight. because I really think the Rothwell fight was kind of a not really good matchup for him. I picked St. Preux to win it just because I thought he would be able to KO Rothwell. We saw him throw the head kick multiple times, but Rothwell was able to get the win, which I should have done with my better judgment. But looking at this fight, I just think Menifield is going to be able to survive. And as you mentioned, OSP also doesn't have the greatest of cardio. But I think Menifield's going to want to work on his cardio, because you can't gas out in the first round and be like, I'll just not work on my cardio for this one. So I expect Menifield's cardio to be a little bit better and not so much rely on his first round KO ability. If he doesn't get it done in the first round, I honestly have faith that he could bring it to decision, because looking at both of these guys are typically guys who finish their opponents. So taking this fight to decision, OSP has lost nine of his he's got 5 decision wins and 9 decision losses. Most of his decision losses are coming in recent. He's had 4 decision losses since his last decision win. So I'm going to take Menifield on this one. I think he's able to kind of just either get a finish by controlling the striking game, or able to get a decision win. So I don't know if I mentioned the calculator. Calculator's got a 58% chance for Menifield to win. So I'll pass it on to Jake.
OSP, third round submission. OSP's a vet. I think he's trying to resurge. He's on the way back to the top. He's 37. This is the make it or break it age. And once you hit 38 and 39, people look at you differently. People are like, okay, you're not there anymore. My prime age for a fighter is 33, but that's just the most common one. I'm not saying that's the same for everybody's. OSP, his base is grappling and will always stay as grappling. He's a mixed martial artist at its core, but at the same time, he's got so many chokes to his name, so many unique submissions. Like, who is this guy? He's a submission practitioner. I see him showing holes in Alonzo's game. I see him striking. I see him taking it to where Alonzo wants it to be. And the next thing you know, it's on the ground. It's OSP's bread and butter. Slaps on his signature choke, or maybe something else, something new we haven't seen. Because once again, he's a submission practitioner. He's got everything. And people will write him off for no other reason than he's getting old. But like you said, he's from heavyweight. So he's got power now. He's got power with the light heavyweight speed. We'll see how it meshes well together in his game. OSP.
You got him by Von Flue or not?
Yeah.
Von
maybe.
Preux.
Von Poo. I don't fucking know, dude. Maybe. if he tackles him and he gets, if he doesn't do a proper double leg, then OSP will capitalize. Otherwise, lights out.
Interesting. I agree with what you said, Michael. I think that we are going to see improvements in caution and tentativeness from Menifield, not gassing himself out, and actual cardio work. I'm not necessarily on the Menifield train or anything, and I wouldn't say he's a light heavyweight Francis Ngannou. I'd say he's more of a light heavyweight Greg Hardy, but I do think that he gets him out. I think he stays safe round 1. I think that it's a weird tentative fight at the beginning, and then St. Preux tries some stuff in round 1, gets a little tired. Menifield actually looks better than St. Preux round 2, and he knocks him out in round 2.
Wow. I like it. So I'm not a lone wolf on this one. We got 2-2, and you guys know
I got you.
I don't even need to say it. So do X what I always say you need to do in the X area. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys also check out the other Fight Pick videos. We got the co-main event. We got the main event coming up next, and we got all the fights, the short notices, everything, and maybe even if one of the fights fall out, maybe we can form up a team really quick and get that prediction out as well. But make sure you guys check out the other Fight Pick videos.